So the word anthropos, which means a human, essentially means I look up. You cannot but be enthralled with space and the galaxies, you know. It's part of the human experience.
Of course, in the modern times, we have been able to explore space, or at least start some exploration of space, and that has answered some questions, but it's opened up even more. For example, there's this long-standing question of whether there is water under the surface in Mars. Is it liquid water? Is it frozen water? Is it ice? Same with the moon.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful to me.
Neil Armstrong was and remains perhaps the most known and the most famous graduate of the University of Southern California. He immediately enrolled in studying in the School of Engineering to pursue a Master of Science degree. And the School of Engineering at that time pursued space professionals, or aerospace professionals, aeronautical professionals at remote locations.
At that time, it was microwave links between the USC campus, special classrooms, and Hughes and TRW and a few other places. In the 1990s, these same companies came to USC and let us know that a lot of their space engineers who had carried NASA through the Apollo program were getting close to retirement, and Dean Nikias, he decided that we should be our own academic unit. So in August 2004, he announced that there would be a new Astronautics and Space Technology division.
And we started to build it.
We were very small. We started with 3 faculty members originally. That was me, Professor Mike Gruntman, and Joseph Kuntz, who's since retired. And we added a 4th in 2008, who was our first outside hire, Joseph Wong. We had only 1 staff member to start. That was Del Quasson. And so everything really fell on her shoulders.
So thank you, Del, for that, of course.
And then Phil Muntz, who had been in aerospace and mechanical engineering, so he ended up joining us.
We're a small department and very few faculty members. But we developed a network of more than 24 part-time instructors, lecturers from the space industry and government research and development centers here in the Los Angeles area.
That's one of the reasons that the astronautics program is as good as it is, because we're in Los Angeles, which is the hub of the space industry, so we can draw on space industry plus NASA plus Aerospace Corporation to provide people who've had decades of experience in the space industry.
They are tremendous strengths and a pride for our program.
People from all these companies, Hughes, TRW, Boeing, Northrop, Rocketdyne, were taking our classes on the master's level, and we also had an undergraduate emphasis. And also around this time, the students who wanted to start the Rocket Lab came along, and we got that going too. So it kind of all happened within a few years.
So NASA has always had a history of partnerships with industry. It was not possible to go to the moon without strong industry partnerships. The landscape is changing a little in terms of who are those partners, but our ability to partner with industrial giants and startups alike, which means that we are working hand in hand with the teams that will be on the receiving end of our technologies, who will really be charged with putting them in practice at scale.
It was clear that we needed a separate major in the astronautical engineering, separate from the aerospace engineering or the mechanical engineering area. And that has been maintained. We have both at the bachelor's, master's, and PhD levels. There's a separate astronautical engineering major.
BS, MS, and PhD. I think it's fair to say we're the only major university that has all programs in astronautical.
We're the Rocket Propulsion Lab at the University of Southern California.
Back in 2004, created at USC, the Rocket Propulsion Lab, a spectacular group of students who then show their ingenuity over 20 years.
And this rocket here is our 4-inch rocket we call Silver Spur. And we're looking at about 60,000 feet in Mach 3 if it all works out.
And so we celebrate their 20th anniversary as well.
So hope it works out well.
In 2019, they reached the Kármán line, which was essentially demarcates between space and the atmosphere. And that was the first time a student team was able to reach space. Then, spectacularly, to 2024, they carried out the same type of launch, and their rocket went to the highest ever altitude reached by any amateur team. The fact that they were so successful to create entrepreneurs and also to be able to create startups that came out of this effort.
And the best example of that is probably Relativity Space, which was founded by our alumni.
So Relativity was started in 2015 by myself and Tim, and we'd met in the Rocket Lab itself and to 3D print rockets, build the world's largest metal 3D printers. Huge kudos to the university for not only inspiring us on our work, but enabling those early steps, both in the Rocket Lab that laid the foundation and then helping grow and support all those efforts afterwards.
Our undergraduate program thrives, reaching new heights, pun intended, with the rocket launches, with the Rocket Propulsion Laboratory launches. Our master's program reached a major milestone recently. We awarded more than 1,000 master's degrees in astronautical engineering. In a very short period of 20 years, we grew up from humble beginnings to become one of the biggest programs in the country, well recognized nationally and internationally as well.